Welcome to the Explainer. Look, today we are going to completely shatter everything you thought you knew about time management and focus. Whether you're a student, a lifelong learner, or just somebody trying to actually get things done for once, you have probably felt that totally crushing weight of procrastination. But what if I told you that you've been fighting this battle with the exact wrong weapons? Today, we're going to ignite a total paradigm shift that will absolutely transform how you view discipline forever. I mean, we all know this feeling, right? You've got a massive paper to write, an exam to study for, some big project to launch. You sit down, you crack your knuckles, and absolutely nothing happens. Let's just validate that struggle for a second, because it is agonizing. But here is the big secret. Just telling yourself to try harder completely exhausts you because you're actually fighting your own brain using the wrong system entirely. You're not lazy. You are just in the middle of a literal neurological turf war. So to understand this turf war, let's look at the brain's internal conflict. On one side, you've got the rational decision maker. This is the part of you that visualizes a successful future, makes long-term plans, and genuinely, truly wants to do the hard work. But on the other side, literally fighting for the steering wheel, is the instant gratification monkey. And this monkey, he has zero memory of the past, absolutely no concept of the future, and only cares about two things: what is easy and what is fun right this very second. And unfortunately for us, the monkey is a terrible driver who almost always hijacks the wheel. And when that monkey grabs the wheel, this is exactly where you end up. When you map out a procrastinator's day, there is always this massive chunk of time that we call the dark playground. It's that awful, awful place where the monkey takes you to do fun things when you absolutely aren't supposed to be doing them. It's scrolling social media for 2 hours or playing video games when you know you should be studying. And honestly, the worst part, it's not even real fun. It's this cheap, unearned pleasure filled with a suffocating mix of guilt, dread, and anxiety. So here is our practical survival map for today's Explainer to get you out of that playground. 1. The paradigm shift. 2. The dopamine detox. 3. The engine build. And 4. Daily habits and stoic time. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The paradigm shift. We desperately need to dismantle a universally held yet completely false belief right now. We've all been taught that discipline is just forcing yourself to do things you hate. But we are confusing willpower with discipline. Willpower is just a battery. If you rely on it to study every single day, eventually that battery drains and you relapse. Boom, back to the monkey. True discipline is actually an emotional state of resolve. When you are internally resolved to achieve a goal, it acts like a thermonuclear engine. It effortlessly burns through distractions and doubt. You don't even have to force yourself. Your emotional resolve just pushes the monkey right out of the way.
Moving right along to Section 2, the dopamine detox.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that before we can ignite that thermonuclear engine of resolve, we actually have to clear out the neurological junk that's keeping the monkey in charge. We have to look at the chemical warfare in our heads. Dopamine is what makes us desire things, right? Activities like social media and gaming flood our brains with unnaturally high levels of dopamine. Because our brains adapt to this massive flood, our baseline tolerance skyrockets. So when you finally sit down to do a low dopamine task, like reading a textbook or writing a huge essay, your fried receptors literally cannot handle the drop. The work feels impossibly physically boring. So how do we fix it? You have to do a hard reset on the system. Step 1, pick one single day to remove all high dopamine triggers. I'm talking no social media, no junk food, no video games, nothing. Step 2, embrace the extreme boredom. Seriously, just sit with it. By starving your brain of that cheap pleasure, you allow your dopamine receptors to actually recover. Suddenly, normal, boring work becomes interesting again. And step 3, which is the golden rule here, never, ever indulge in high dopamine activities first. Use them strictly as a calculated reward only after the hard work is entirely finished.
All right, Section 3, the engine build.
Okay, so now that your brain's receptors are actually reset, it is time to build that engine using an ancient yogic concept called Sankalpa. Sankalpa is basically the practice of developing resolve. You don't start by trying to conquer your biggest life goals on day 1. You start in the kiddie pool. Pick one small, medium difficult task, like, say, deciding to give up a specific snack, maybe ice cream. Then spend just 5 to 10 minutes every single morning sitting quietly, visualizing that exact commitment, and actively stoking the fire of that feeling of resolve. You are literally training the emotional circuitry of discipline right there in your brain. And as you stoke that fire, you have to connect it to a massive why. Think about when Buster Douglas fought Mike Tyson. He got knocked flat to the mat, and, nobody gets up from a Tyson knockout. Nobody. But Douglas did. Why? Because his mother had recently passed away, and he made a decision to win for her. His emotional resolve was overwhelmingly greater than the physical pain of the punch. If your why isn't stronger than the simple urge to sleep in or play a game, you're going to get knocked out by distractions every single day. This deep emotional resolve, it is the absolute foundation of grit. Grit is living life like a marathon, not a sprint. And to do that, you absolutely need a growth mindset.
You have to believe your abilities aren't just fixed at birth, but are like muscles that actually grow through friction and hard work. I mean, did you know J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 different publishers before Harry Potter was picked up? 12. High achievers practice failure regularly. They accept the knockdowns, analyze their mistakes, and use that thermonuclear resolve to just keep pushing forward. Which brings us to our final part, Section 4, Daily Habits and Stoic Time. So, how do we keep that monkey out of the driver's seat permanently in our day-to-day lives? Well, it starts the literal second you wake up. Navy SEAL Admiral William McRaven famously said, "If you want to change the world, make your bed." It gives you this small sense of pride, and it is your very first victory of the day. Next, right before your first big intimidating task, just close your eyes and vividly imagine a successful outcome for it. Envisioning success actively boosts your brain's ability to achieve it. Finally, rely on repetition, repetition, repetition. Doing something until it's no longer a novelty totally kills the nervousness and friction of starting. Next up, we've got to talk about defeating the monkey's absolute favorite weapon, time blindness. Remember, the monkey only lives in the present moment. To combat this, you must use time blocking templates. Schedule your study blocks, schedule your classes, and yes, schedule your rest. Because if you don't map out your day, it is incredibly easy to spend 8 full hours just feeling busy without making a single inch of measurable progress on the things that actually matter. And we can level this up even further with Stoic time tactics. Be intensely intentional. Don't just be a sheep blindly following the herd of daily distractions. Stoicism teaches us that we often foolishly exchange a moment of our real, actual life for a future moment that doesn't even exist. Instead, focus entirely on the experience of the task itself right now. Find the flow in the studying itself, and occasionally voluntarily strip away your excess comforts. It proves to your brain exactly how incredibly strong and capable you are without them. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why all of this is so unbelievably urgent. 4,680. That is the number of weeks in a 90-year life. If you picture that as a literal grid of boxes on a calendar, it is really not that many boxes. And honestly, you've already used up a bunch of them. When you let the instant gratification monkeys steer the ship, when you lack the emotional resolve to just do the hard work, you aren't just delaying a grade or a work project. You are quietly letting procrastination eat away the very finite boxes of your actual life. So I want to leave you with this final crucial thought. You hold the steering wheel. That thermonuclear engine of resolve is sitting right there inside of you, just waiting to be stoked. So what's it going to be? Are you going to spend your next box in the guilt and anxiety of the dark playground? Or will you embrace the struggle, build your grit, and ignite your engine of resolve today? The choice is literally yours. Thank you so much for joining me on The Explainer.